All right. Um, this is Lacey Glenn and Anna Harrison, and this is our presentation on the status of online learning in both the United States and in the United Kingdom, since that is where we both live. We both researched the status in both of the countries, and we found some schools that are implementing it well, and we found some online learning communities to help teachers that are working in the online learning forum, and a great place to find resources. So that's just a little synopsis of what we're going to talk about today.
Okay, to start, just with online education, we were talking about the states that require you to take an online class before graduation. And these are the 5 states that do: Michigan, Florida, Virginia, Alabama, and Arkansas. I've also found that there are some states that don't require it, but highly suggest it, like Georgia, New Mexico, and West Virginia. And then I also found that Idaho actually requires 2 courses, but it's only one district in Idaho. And then last year they actually adopted it so that the blended classes count. So because they were having students that were struggling and needed to have that face-to-face interaction, and so they made that adaptation for those students and just made it an amendment to what they decided to do. With the online graduation requirements, some of the pros would be that they can work whenever and wherever they want to. So it makes it very flexible for those really busy high school students, especially. It deepens your understanding of technology, and that's what they're wanting. That was kind of like the whole point of what they wanted, was to try to make it so that they're ready for like their 21st century learning, which is what goes on to the other pro. And then it's great for students with busy schedules because people have activities and sports and clubs, all that kind of stuff in high school. And a lot of them work outside too. And so it makes it so that you can actually do that as well. I know when I was in high school, I took online classes just so that I could leave early and go out and work. So it also allows students that are still behind to get caught up on and get back on grade level and can graduate on time. Some of the cons would be that they block out, you have to block out time for your classes. So if you have a full class load already and then you're adding on so you can graduate on time, you have to make sure you have time for those before just setting up being like, oh yeah, I have time for this because it's an online class and I can do it whenever I want to. Make sure you actually have time. It's a higher cost some of the time for some school districts. It requires internet access, which some of the students don't have, and that's a problem that I'll kind of talk about later, that some of them don't have internet access at home, and so they're requiring students to take it as like their 3rd period class or whatever, so that way they're on campus during that time so they can use that internet access and they actually have that class time available. The lack of peer and teacher communication and face-to-face interaction and discussions. And then, so personal.
I looked into professional online learning communities, and I found that the Online Learning Consortium is a great one. It provides professional development for members, instructions, best practice publications, as well as guidance. It is membership based. You can have a free membership and be just a community member, but it's a very limited access. You pretty much only have access to like the message boards and the forums. It is $49 annually for a professional membership and $1,495 annually for an institution membership. It is aimed more for the higher education and college level. I also found another one that is the International Association for K-12 Online Learning. As the name indicates, it is K-12 focused. It is also membership based. It is $60 for educators, $125 just for individuals, $500 for an institutional membership, $500 for an associate membership, or starts at $5,000 for a corporate membership. This one also has professional development opportunities. It has a symposium every year, and being a member gets you a discount, and it's a great learning opportunity, it looks like. It has up-to-date research and data, and it has forums that also have places for job postings and grant opportunities and a lot more things to keep you up to date on what is going on in the online learning community.
So status of K-12 virtual learning in the United States. In 2009 to 2010 school year, over 1.5 million students were enrolled, which is 3% of enrolled students. So for like online and blending classes, that's how many students actually took it. Full-time online learning opportunities are available for 48 out of the 50 states today. And then some of the different types of virtual learning that is offered in the United States is state virtual schools, and those are present in 38 states. They're state-led online learning initiatives. They provide school districts with supplemental online courses. So those ones that have the required courses, this is a great opportunity for them to pull from those classes, so that way they don't have to make their own and spend their own money and resources on those. The other one is multi-district full-time online schools. So most of their students are full-time. 27 states actually have one of these schools. And then it helps to build a community because of the fact that they stay in this school. It is a K through 12 school most of the time. And so they do have like that, face-to-face. They don't have as much face-to-face, but they might be able to use something similar to Zoom or something like that. So that way they're familiar with their classmates and they have that community and they can build those relationships over time as well. Most of the schools tend to be charter schools just because of the way that they receive funding. And then single district programs are actually the fastest growing in popularity in the United States. That's where we have most of our students enrolled into, but there's only 11 nationwide. So they're very big. Operation and funding. So this is just a graph that kind of shows you it's founded and like the organizational status. So like freestanding and funded through like legislation's line is through like the Florida and Michigan. Operated by consortium is like Arkansas, Illinois, Alabama, and then primarily operated by a unit within the state, which is all the rest of them that are listed there as well.
I looked up the status of online learning in the United Kingdom since that is where I'm currently living. And I will start by saying I was blown away at how little there really was to be offered for online learning here in the UK. First of all, the United Kingdom splits their management of education into 4 categories based on different governments that manage the education sector. So it is split into England, Scotland, Northern Ireland, and Wales. Here in England, there are 11 virtual school initiatives, only 1 fully virtual college, and several colleges that are offering blended learning opportunities. Here's a little graph of the different options right now in England for online school. You can see that there's the Bridge Academy, and then it is for boys and girls 11 to 16. Bright School, which I'll talk about more later, is for primary education from 9 and up, and for secondary, for homeschooled and expatriate students. That's what my kids would be considered because we are living here, but we are not citizens here. There's the Connect Home Learning, which did not say what age group it is for. The NISA Virtual Academy, which also did not say what it was for. NotSchool.net, which also did not say what it was for. Oxford Home Learning, which is for Key Stage 3 and assistance for parents of homeschooled children. Vision to Learning for schools is Key Stage 3 and Key Stage 4, which is for ages 11 to 9. Oh, no, sorry. And then the Web School, which is for ages 11 to 19. Wolsey Hall is ages 14 to 18. And Pamaja Education is for International Baccalaureate. Northern Ireland has no virtual schools that were identified. About 10 years ago, it started looking into the options of making a Northern Ireland virtual school, but that never came to reality. In Scotland, there are no virtual primary or secondary schools, but they do have Scholar, which is a supplementary school. That's another one where if you're wanting to supplement your public education you're already receiving, or if you're homeschooled and you want to supplement, you could go through there. It is fully online at Scottish Intermediate, Standard, and higher levels. In Wales, there are 2 organizations offering a secondary curriculum online, and that is Inter High School and First College. And then they have the Clegg Sirgar, which is 80 courses at the post-16 level that are entirely online. And they also have the Virtual College, which is one of the UK's most successful online education providers. And it has a range of short courses that can be studied from anywhere in the world.
Okay, the accessible approach for K-12 schooling that I found, since most of us are in Kansas, I picked one that was in Kansas, which is actually Basehor-Linwood Virtual School. And I was actually really surprised to find this because I live pretty close to Basehor-Linwood and I didn't even know that it existed. So I thought it was really neat. It's Basehor-Linwood is a charter school. It was founded in 1997, but was established in 1998. It's one of the longest running charters and was the first virtual K-12 school in Kansas. It focuses on providing state-funded public education opportunities for K-12 homeschoolers across the state, but it also offers courses for students who are not being homeschooled and just want to take online classes. It delivers self-delivered courses in a full diploma program, and it uses certified teachers within the district. And so there's no outside sources that are coming in. There's no outside teachers or anything like that. It's all their program. And so the teachers design the courses, and then some of them have actually taught to that grade level in real life, and then they mirror what their standards and expectations were for that classroom and put them online. And then, so like I said before, they don't use third-party courses vendors or even teachers. Everything is done within the district. There's actually no age limit for the program. So if you are wanting to go back and you're working on like your GED, or you wanted to go back and just get a high school diploma, they will work with you on that. It's only a $50 registration fee, and then it's just the actual Basehor-Linwood public schools fees that you would have to pay. Their motto, which I found pretty interesting, is actually friendly, flexible, supportive. So it was something that they really strive on, that they're really supportive and they are very flexible, which you would have to be if you were an online program.
I looked into the Bright School, which is here in England in the United Kingdom, since that's where I live. It offers primary and secondary school, like I already said, for homeschooled and expatriate students. It has the core subjects of math, English, science, history, geography, French, and Spanish. And then it also has as additional options, English as a foreign language, German, Portuguese, politics, business studies, economics, web design, and hosting. It has a much higher cost. It is an enrollment fee of £48, and then the annual tuition is for secondary IGCSE level or year one is £2,495, and for other secondary it would be £2,325. And then for primary, which is mostly just homeschool support, so it would need to be supplemented with a homeschool curriculum as well, and it is £999. They also have the option of £8 per hour if you just want to take one subject in a class, or you can pay £25 to £30 per hour depending on the subject and age and number of students if you want to pay private tuition, which means you're not going to follow their program as much. You're just going to kind of take what you need when you need it, things like that. It does follow the British National Curriculum. And classes for primary are three half days a week, morning or afternoons, and you can take them on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, or on Thursday. And then for secondary, it is 5 half days a week, Monday or morning or afternoons. I did put this little image up here just because I know most of you aren't familiar with the UK schooling system, and it just talks about the age of when they start. So here in the UK, they start at age 3, and then it tells you where they would be. So Key Stage 1, I know I mentioned Key Stage 3 earlier, and that would be, ages 11 to 13. Key Stage 4 is 14 and 15, and then post 16 is 16, 17. So beyond that, you're considered university level. In the advantages, you have more free time. Like I said, for a primary, you're only going 3 half days a week. And for even secondary, you're only going 5 half days a week. So you still have the whole half day when you would normally be in class if you're attending a traditional school. You can attend class even while you're on vacation. So it's very flexible. It is efficient. There's no distractions for discipline or passing out materials and things like that. Assignments may be revised immediately after a session. So if a student has done an assignment, they sit through the session and they realize that they did something incorrectly, they're able to revise their assignments and return them in. Experiments can be repeated as often as the student wishes. Also, you can record the sessions and we rewatch them. So if you needed to record the experiment, rewatch it so that you could perform it again, you're able to do that. Instances of cheating are greatly reduced, cheaper than traditional British private school. There's less exposure to illness, and there's no time and money spent on transportation to and from class. And finally, withdrawal is easy if it is decided not to be a fit for the student. Disadvantages include that sometimes having a lot of free time just isn't a good thing for students. So you could think that it's just too much free time. The teacher can't see the student or their environment, so you can't limit distractions like music or social media or TV because you don't really know what the student's doing in the background. So socialization opportunities are greatly reduced, and it is a new development in education here in the UK, so therefore it's really not very regulated compared to normal traditional school routes. Materials are an extra expense, so all of the textbooks and like paper books, like blue books we used to use in college, they still use a lot of those here, so you'd have to purchase them. And there's a lot of state mandated testing that you have to purchase the test because you still have to do it paper pencil because that's the way they do it in England. Art, handicraft-based subjects, or music, among other things, do not lend themselves well to online teaching, so therefore they're just not offered. And students' resistance to illnesses may lessen as they're not being exposed to them. Here I have a screenshot of what a classroom would look like. So you're able to go to the Bright School website and see a sample classroom. So that's what I did. And this is what it looks like. So here's where the teacher would be posting their lesson. And they, just like when you're screen sharing on Zoom, they can point to things, they can draw on it, and so can the student. So the student could draw on it, do assignments, do math problems, and the teacher can correct them. And then over here, there's a chat where they can ask questions, they can talk with their peers, they can talk with their teacher, anything like that. So I thought it was really interesting to get to see what exactly a student would see if they were in that classroom environment. Thought I'd share that with you. And that's all we have for you today. So the last two slides are just our sources. If you're interested in finding out any more information, feel free to contact any of those sources. Thank you.